Okay, I have a little time to get into the craft room, and I decided I probably need to start using up some of the stock things I've bought. I bought things at Dollar Tree, and I do use some things at Dollar Tree, but I don't normally do a whole project, let's say, most of it with Dollar Tree items. So I had these arrows. They're supposed to be arrows, and I'm going to make them into birdhouses. And I had the little box like this, and of course these come two in a package. So I have these. Now I do use these, but normally this other stuff I might get the little pieces of wood and add on to something or something. But this is almost totally a Dollar Tree project, except for I did cut these little well, what do you call them? The roof of the birdhouse. I cut them out so that I could, have a little depth on them. And I set out for each one, and I used, Sam, please. Comes the dog starts coming in here and scratching on the floor like he's gonna roll a blanket up. There's no blanket there. Anyways, I got those for the roofs, and I cut those out of this here. They're garden stakes that you can buy in your garden center, and they come in a bundle. I use these for frames, and I use them a lot. They're very, very handy, and you really just sand them off a little bit, and the color of them is good sometimes. I don't even paint them or stain them or anything. But that's what I made the little roofs out of. And I probably will just sand them a little bit. I think. Well, I got a message coming in on my phone. And I turn a little more lighting on, but it goes on my eyes and I can't see what I'm doing. Anyways, I have the little flower pots and these two birdhouses and this. And I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stain this. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to paint those. Yeah, I'll probably do some painting on those. So to get started, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set these aside so I don't drop them off and break them. And I'm going to get this and I'm going to stain it. I'll use my heat gun and get the tag off from it. And I'm going to have to, well, that's stapled. But this here, I'm going to cut it off and fill it in with some wood filler, because I'll be painting this too. Alright, I'm going to get started, and as I finish or start something, I'll show you what I'm doing. And we all know how to paint, so I won't go through the whole thing, but I'll show you what I'm using and what I'm doing on each one. Okay, I decided I should have just watered down some brown paint because I don't have any sponge brushes, and I like to use those when I'm using stain because I don't have to wash them out that way. But I decided just to use a cloth. Make sure I have gloves on so it don't get all over my hands. Guess I'm getting out of frame. Alright, I'm going to finish staining this. I'm going to have to wait for this to dry a little bit, sand it down. This is a stainable filler, but I'm just going to give it a stain, and so the back will be stained, and I'll probably paint the fronts anyway, so it doesn't really matter on that part. And I'll be back. Alright, while my little birdhouses, what I'm going to turn into birdhouses in the box, dries, I'm going to paint these with my Waverly chalk paint in the color of Mineral. And I did forget to tell you, on these little things here, you could set them straight, but I did take them to the miter saw, and I'd cut these on a 50-degree angle. That's what I used, was 50-degree on that, if you happen to have a miter saw. Otherwise, you can just butt them up next to each other, you know, like this. Instead, I have them mitered. Alright, so now I'll just, if I can find my paintbrush, I just had it in my hand. There it is. I'll paint these two pots in Mineral. And I'll probably have to give them 2 coats. And then I might go over them a little bit with a dry brush with white. Not a lot of the pot's gonna, I don't think, show. Well, yeah, half of it will. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. I think my paint needs to have a little, be stirred a little bit. I'm getting some little darker color and spots. But I'm gonna finish painting these two and give them, let them dry in between and give it the second coat until I can get to it. And now I'm going to paint one birdhouse in, I guess that's dry, the Waverly plaster. If this so people can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to go on the sides, just going to do the front. And I'll give the middle, I'll let this dry, and then I'll give the middle one more coat. And this is the Waverly, I think it was, yes, the moss. Try to figure out which side to paint. Okay, this just has some edges on it that need to be sanded down. I think I'm going to leave my wood just natural, like that. This just gets the dirt and stuff off from it. Need another thing to wipe with. Wipe this down. That will be ready. Alright, I'm going to continue on and getting these ready. And like I said, I'm just going to leave them natural to go on the arrow turned into a birdhouse. Alright, I have them dried. I dried them with the heat gun. I'm going to take my, I'm just going to distress it a little bit. Well, the top doesn't really need to be done because that's distressed enough. Alright, now wipe that off and do my white one. That's probably enough for that one. This one needs some up at the top of it. I hope I forget. I need to talk a little louder. Okay. That looks good on both of those. Let me see how I done them. Alright, now I'm going to glue the tops on, and I gotta remember which is which. And I don't. The longer one should be for that one, yeah. I'm going to have to turn this where I can see it, or I'll get it on there all cockeyed crooked. And I've got my heating gun. I hope my glue gun. Hope it's hot. Not quite. There it goes. It's almost ready. Try this. See if I can. I like to use E6000, but my tubes just end up. Well, I can't get that one open. See if I can find something to get it open with. Well, that looks dried up at the top. Oh, some's coming out of it. Good. Boy, not very well, but it's coming out. That's why I've started buying. I bought a little bottle of this because I hate to buy the big bottle and then it do this to me. It's okay. Oops. Got my glue gun going so that I could put some hot glue on it to make it. I don't know, because sometimes this dries before I can get this centered right. And it's gonna do it, I'll bet you. I know what to do, just put it on here. Did I do that wrong? No. Scared myself. Okay, scoot that up a bit. I almost blew it. Okay. There's what that looks like. Got off a little bit here because when that glue dries, the hot glue, you're where you are where you are. I might be able to take that out to my scroll saw and kind of, but that's not really sticking. Well, I'll be. I'm just going to have to let that E6000 dry before I mess with this anymore. Because in order to get that even, the hot glue dries so fast. Okay, it's on there. I'm trying to see if it tipped up. You don't really see the back end of it. Okay. This one, I'm not going to mess with the hot glue. I'm going to put it on with the E6000 and I'm going to walk away and let it dry. before I start messing with it, because it'll hold much better. Okay, so when I get this done and this is dry, I'll be back. Okay, I have that one on. I'm just going to leave it setting and let it dry. I think this is going to turn out pretty cute with the little flower pots in that crate and stuff. I think it's going to look cute. Okay, I wanted to show you what I was having to do in order to get the, because this birdhouse here is up higher. I don't know, can you see the, well see, it's not, because that's going to overlap. It's got to have something to bring it up or won't sit properly. So I got 3 popsicle sticks. It takes 3 well, let me show you. I have to glue 3 there. Get the other one away from my hand. 3 right there. You see that? And that makes this birdhouse set level with that one. So I'm going to take and glue these down in there and let them dry before I put these on. Because I thought, well, while these are laying down, I could be putting this together because it has to lay down anyway. But when I done that, my birdhouse wants to sit crooked. So I had to come up with something. So I had some Dollar Tree pops, or these wooden sticks, and I cut 3 of them in half. And I'll put them right down on the bottom, and it'll make that come up level. But I wanted to show you that you need to do something like that. Find maybe even a paint stick would be probably about the right thickness. But I couldn't find a paint stick, so I come up with the wooden sticks here. All right, I'm gonna let these glue. I'm gonna glue these and let it set up and dry, and I'll be back. Yeah, I'm making the hole. What I did was took a pop bottle lid and set down there and traced around it, and now I'm just have a paintbrush painting it in. Gonna do that one now. Okay, I painted it and I went over it a little bit with my sander on that one. And now I'm gonna do this one. You can see the difference. I just didn't want that stark black or dark black. And now I'm gonna do this one. Okay. I have changed my mind on the pots. Scratch the pots. Because, I'll show you. The pots just stick up, I think, too high. So, I went back to, I'm going to put that in there, actually. This way, and then I'll cut a piece right there, and then I'll put this on there, and then start putting some flowers in. I did glue a little twig there. You can't see real good. My lighting's just not good. But anyways, I'm scratching the little pots. Nilch, they didn't work. If I could have used, let's see. I had some little small pots. I'll show you. I'm trying to film this with my hands, and one hand, and work with the other. But if I had 3 smaller pots, that would have looked cute. Maybe even that. But I think it would look better with the 2 pieces with some floral in it. Cut that down to make that tight. Okay, I'm going to go back and start doing that, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so far, this is what I have. But now I'm going to paint this right here. I'll move this up a little bit for you. And then I have a, let's see, just got through cutting it out. I have a stencil. Can't really tell what it is. It says Bless Our Home, that I'm going to weed. And after I paint this, I'm going to put this on there. So that's where I'm at. And after I get that done, I think it'll be finished. Unless I see something else I want to do to it. So I'm going to get to painting this right now. Weed this. Put it on. And I'll come back and show you how it turned out. Okay. See a piece gone right there. Okay, where's the end? There it is. Okay. Little old sponge. I got to get me some sponges. Well, I'm going to have to get a new one. I'm about out of my good ones. I got a bubble right there. Okay, that looks good enough. I got some bleeding. Pushing too hard. Not too bad. Oh, there wasn't one there. Darn. Just kind of scratch that off. And then I'll take a thin paintbrush and put some of my plaster color on. Got a little bleeding right in there, but you probably just sand it down. It'll just kind of take it away. Now I need a small paintbrush. Okay, where is one at? Oh, there it is. I'm going to touch that area up. I have a very, very thin paintbrush. Pointed. Need a little thicker. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the heat gun to that so I can kind of sand it a little bit. Really want a thin, let's see, yeah, that yellow one, if I can find it, there's one. Okay, this is just a, oh, I bet that was it right there. Yeah, there it was on my, I need a finer grit to sand that with. Hope I don't screw it up. Oh, I see a piece I didn't get out too. Right here. There. I don't want that dark. Okay, there. I like how that turned out. Let me get up and see if I can let you see how it turned out. Can't seem to get the whole thing in there. Let me kind of lift this up. I'm going to set that down. And there's how it turned out.